Could Samsung's new foldable phone finally be the one to make waves in the tech world? Rumors are swirling about Samsung's upcoming Galaxy tri-foldable smartphone, which is expected to launch later this year. What's even more exciting than its folding design? Well, it looks like Samsung is stepping up its game in the battery department too. Thanks to a reliable leak, we now know that the tri-foldable will feature a silicon-carbon battery. So, why is this such a big deal? First, let's break down what makes this battery tech different. Silicon-carbon batteries are all about improving performance without making the phone thicker. These batteries can store more power than traditional lithium-ion batteries while maintaining the same size. That means even with a compact design, your phone could last longer, and that's a win for any tech lover. This change is pretty significant because Samsung has been a bit slow in adopting newer battery technologies. In fact, their latest flagship phone, the Galaxy S25 Ultra, still charges at 45 watts, while other phones are already pushing past 100 watts in charging speed. So the fact that Samsung is finally using silicon-carbon batteries in their new tri-foldable is something many have been waiting for. Now, you might be wondering, what's the catch? Well, it looks like the Galaxy tri-foldable isn't going to be for everyone. In fact, only about 200,000 units will be produced at first, and it's only going to be available in select regions. The reason? It's going to be expensive. We're talking a phone that's likely priced at the top end, which is why Samsung doesn't expect to sell too many units initially. But why all the focus on battery life? With a phone that folds 3 times, the tri-foldable will feature a massive display. And massive displays need a lot of power. That's where the silicon-carbon battery comes in. Even though the battery capacity is said to be less than 5,000 milliampere hours, which is fairly standard for many Samsung phones these days, the silicon-carbon tech allows it to still offer solid performance, despite the smaller size. Now, even with the upgraded battery, we're not expecting amazing battery life. Why? Because all that power will be used up by the giant display and the foldable tech. So even with the silicon-carbon battery, the tri-foldable will likely have only average battery life. That said, it's still better than what we've seen from other foldables that don't have this new technology. What's even more impressive is that silicon-carbon batteries are more durable. This durability is a big plus for a phone like the tri-foldable, which will likely see a lot of wear and tear as users unfold and refold it multiple times throughout the day. This all points to one thing. Samsung is finally making some much-needed upgrades to its battery technology. The fact that it's being applied to a foldable phone makes sense too, because foldables require a special kind of innovation to ensure they don't sacrifice performance for design. Samsung's move to silicon-carbon could very well set the stage for more foldables that offer better longevity, faster charging, and improved durability. But will the prototype pass all its tests? That's the big question. If it does, we could see the Galaxy tri-foldable push the boundaries of what we expect from smartphones, with the perfect mix of cutting-edge design and better battery performance. So what do you think? Are you excited about Samsung's new tri-foldable and its silicon-carbon battery? Or do you think the price tag will be too high for most people to consider? Let us know in the comments. And if you want to stay updated with all the latest tech news, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Can a phone really be super thin and strong enough to handle daily use? Samsung thinks so, and the upcoming Galaxy S25 Edge might prove it. With a body that's just about 585 millimeters thick, this phone is expected to be the thinnest Galaxy S flagship ever made. But the real surprise isn't just its slim size, it's what Samsung is using to protect the screen. Samsung has teamed up with Corning, the makers of Gorilla Glass, to create something brand new, Gorilla Glass Ceramic. Oh, and yes, it's as advanced as it sounds. This new glass isn't just thinner, it's also stronger. Corning says it blends regular glass with tiny crystals, then puts it through a special ion process. That combo helps the glass spread out the impact from drops or bumps, so even though the phone is slim, it's still protected. Usually when phones get thinner, they lose out on strength. There's less room for reinforced frames or thick glass panels, but Samsung didn't want to make that trade-off. With Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2, they've found a way to keep the phone sleek without giving up on durability. This move matters, especially when you look at what other phone makers are doing. Apple is rumored to be launching the iPhone 17 Air later. This year, possibly just 5.5 millimeters thick. They might use a new aluminum lithium frame and a custom glass formula to make it work. And Chinese brands like Honor and Xiaomi have released ultra-thin models under 6 millimeters. But here's the catch. Those phones often use mid-range chips or smaller batteries to save space. Samsung isn't doing that. The Galaxy S25 Edge is expected to keep its high-end display and performance features. That means you won't have to give up power just to get a slim phone. Now let's talk about the user experience. A phone this thin could feel more like holding a screen than a regular handset. And because Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2 is designed to take everyday wear and tear, you might not even need a screen protector. That's a bold move, but if it works, it could change how we think about phone protection. Of course, there's still one big question. What about the battery? Samsung hasn't confirmed battery size yet, and with such a thin frame, there might be less room for a large battery. That's something we'll need to keep an eye on when the full specs are revealed. Doctor. Official launch of the Galaxy S25 Edge is just around the corner. Samsung will be unveiling the phone on Monday, May 12th, live on their YouTube channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's when we'll finally get the full picture, including more details on the glass, design, performance, and possibly the battery life. This release could be a big moment, not just for Samsung, but for the entire smartphone industry. Is Honor coming after Samsung? It sure looks that way. With the launch of the Honor 400 series just around the corner on May 22nd, the company has started teasing its new phone, and they're doing it with a bit of style and shade. In one of their recent promo images, Honor not only hinted at some major upgrades, but also seemed to take a direct jab at Samsung's mid-range phones. The teaser itself looks like it was created using artificial intelligence, but it's packed with clues. There's a phone sitting inside a cooler, a massive telephoto lens on another phone, and even an airship floating in the sky with the words, "Not the same," written on it. That last one? Pretty clearly aimed at Samsung. Why the shade? Well, Samsung's mid-range phones haven't seen big changes recently. The Galaxy A55 and A56, for example, look almost the same. And Honor seems to be pointing that out with this campaign. But beyond the jabs, the teaser is telling us a lot about what to expect from the new Honor 400 series, especially the Pro model. The Honor 400 Pro is rumored to come with a triple camera setup, and these specs are hard to ignore. A 200-megapixel main sensor, a 50-megapixel telephoto, lens a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera. That's serious camera power, especially in a mid-range phone. The 200-megapixel sensor might even be exclusive to the Pro model, though we don't have official confirmation on that yet. Still, it's safe to say Honor is aiming high and clearly targeting mobile photography fans. But it doesn't stop at the camera. Under the hood, the Honor 400 Pro is also expected to bring flagship-level performance. Leaks suggest it will be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, the same processor used in many premium phones this year. It could also come with up to 16 gigabytes of RAM, 5 and 12 gigabytes of storage, and a massive 5,300 mAh battery that supports 100-watt fast charging. That's a lot of power, especially for a phone that's expected to start at around €799, or about $900 when directly converted. The regular Honor 400 model might start at €499, or roughly $560. Honor is also running a little game with this teaser. If you can spot the clues hidden in the promo image, you might actually win the phone. So if you're up for a fun challenge and want a shot at getting the Honor 400 Pro for free, it might be worth checking out. The phone is expected to launch in the UK first, with wider availability across Europe, China, and possibly India. Sadly, there's still no word on a US release. With these kinds of specs and pricing, the Honor 400 series could be a strong competitor in the mid-range space. It'll likely be going up against the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE, the OnePlus 13R, and the Google Pixel 9a. But with that powerful camera setup, Honor might just have the edge for users who care most about mobile photography. So, what do you think? Is Honor playing it smart by calling out Samsung? And would you consider switching to the Honor 400 Pro over something like a Galaxy A series phone? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this update, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more phone news and reviews right here on our channel.